Hello and welcome back everyone, I am Ben the Bold, you are you, and this is the Very Tall Sicily campaign, where we are the very tall Sicilians, as tall as Mount Etna, which is the largest, or the tallest point on the island of Sicily, if my Wikipediaing is correct at least. And we are not expanding outside of these two provinces, the island of Sicily, also this little island of Melite as well. However, that's not to say that we are not slightly expansionistic. We are setting up a ton of feudatories all around the Mediterranean. Hey, take a look at it. Yeah, of course, you'll see a lot of red here because we decided to take a bite out of both Carthage and Egypt all at once. Woo! But anyway, let's look at the green. You can see our feudatories. We are fairly strong. I mean, we're no Carthage, we're no Egypt, but we are fairly strong. And I do think we can still win this war, even though we are at negative 57 war score. We do have that little white piece imminent tag up in the corner. And this war has indeed been going on for a long time. It's, I believe, been going on for like 2 full episodes. So if you haven't watched those last 2 episodes, I do encourage you to go check them out as well. But today, we'll see what happens. I'm not necessarily super confident in completely dominating them or anything, but I think once I can just take this war goal back, which is admittedly easier said than done, I will start to get a little bit more even on the war score at least. So anyway, let's see what we can do. Also, we are trying to power through this campaign because we now have a real-world deadline to beat. We're trying to get all the way to 627. That's only about 40 years, so it's definitely not impossible in the next week or so, because the Paradox did announce that the Livy update of the game is going to go live on, what is it, December 3rd? Yeah, December 3rd. So we have just a few more days to get this done. Our army is looking pretty strong. However, I'm going to go ahead and hire these 21,000 men here. That's going to cost me 9 gold per month. And I'm going to let them sit for a little while. We definitely want to make sure that they are of decent morale by the time they come up to Gaul to fight. I don't really love having the 16,000 men just kind of roaming around, so I might bring my men back to deal with that. I think one of the things I'm most excited to see how they do it, how it's implemented, is the new supply feature in the Livy update. We'll see. I think there's a chance that it could make the meta to just be to build huge army like death stacks, which I don't want. But at the same time, kudos to Paradox for changing up their formula that I think they've kept the same since either EU3 or Victoria 2, or Victoria. Yeah, Victoria 2. As far as their, you know, army attrition and supply and everything. I'm hesitant to get any more of my armies on Sicily involved in this conflict because I do have these 2 armies of disloyal soldiers to contend with, so I want to make sure that I maintain a strong presence on Sicily. I know that they are unhappy to have our queen. We're losing a lot of gold per turn, a lot of gold per month. A big part of that might be because we switched off of the morale of... Or we switched off of the omen that increased our tax rate by an insane amount. And instead went to morale of armies. That did help us win some fights. Oh, who are you up here? Oh, this is... Did I move that army all the way back there? I guess I did. Looks like we have an event, the Isis of Libanum. The cult of Isis has started spreading and making its way into the city. Nah, we don't want these cultists. I'll tell you what, we really could deal with letting this army kind of heal up for a little bit. They have 42,000 men up here in Gaul, plus these 15,000. Oh, looks like we have a small slave revolt. Let's go check out where that is. We definitely don't want this to get out of control. They're actually going to basically suicide their army and march right into a bunch of very well-trained Sicilian soldiers. Yeah, that was easy. Alright, so we could show some leniency, and in fact, I think I am going to show leniency. Looks like he gains a trait to victory, conqueror. How's his loyalty doing? Alright, that's not great. We definitely want to make sure he is a very loyal person, and we want to make sure that he supports our heir. I think I'm going to use that demand support for heir. Alright, this army is in decent enough shape where I don't mind putting it in some ships and sending it northward. Meanwhile, I want you not taking attrition, but instead rebuilding your army. We have some food issues. Oh, in fact, we are starving. I repeat, we are starving. Oh my goodness, wait, what? Oh, critical food supply. That would be why. Alright, so we just need to make some more grain. And we need to do it quick. First of all, let's look at our trade. What are we trading away? All of the food resources we need to make sure... Alright, so we definitely should stop trading to Dorogia. Let's cancel one of... Oh man, I guess maybe wood? Instead, bring in more grain. It's going to help us just a little bit. Once we start ticking up food, we'll lose that critical food supply. And our population capacity will go back up again, right? I want to say that that's how that works. So this war has definitely been costly. Definitely been costly. Both for them and us. They started this war with a lot more cohorts, that's for sure. And a lot more manpower. We actually haven't lost much manpower at all, because we have been mostly relying on mercenary troops. At least to do the actual fighting. Speaking of mercenary troops, maybe we should have you... You know what, we'll have you go north, try to join in some of this fighting. We'll have you come this direction. Actually, I want these two armies to try to link up as best they can. But yeah, one thing I wanted to say, and I know I've mentioned this before, but I am really excited about the Livy update, especially about the new attrition mechanics. I'm just super excited to play around with the supply wagons feature. It's going to take me some time to get used to, and I haven't actually decided what nation I wanted to play first. I definitely want to play Rome and Carthage at some point, although I don't necessarily know if I want to play them first. Although I have been, with that said, I have been kind of hankering to play as a republic lately. But part of me wants to try like a chiller nation before jumping in with this, you know, before jumping into like Rome and Carthage. But I definitely want to try a nation with a unique set of ideas. So, I mean, maybe Rome or Carthage should be what I do. If anyone has any recommendations, hey, hit me up in the comments. Let me know. I'm up to I'm up for suggestions, that's for sure. Looks like maybe that army's going to retreat right into me. Yep, that looks to be what's going to happen. I would love to just stack wipe them. Either way, I'm going to do a ton of damage. We lost 300 men. They lost 10 times as many men than we did. Excellent. Let's go ahead and attack these 25,000 men. Maybe that will pull those 18,000 men off that siege. If not, well then maybe we will fight them and pull them off that siege ourselves. We're going to gain some popularity. Alright, so we want to cheese this a little bit. They are using that bull formation. We want something that's good against the bull. How about the phalanx? We're still going to win this pretty easily, it seems. And indeed we did. Alright, so we got touched by Hermes. Sicily gains 500 gold. Well, we need the gold. And local tax rate up by 20%. Cool, we need the gold. Let's also... We've been fighting up in the north for so long. We should definitely come back here. How is our food situation doing? We're still critical. But we actually have some food now. Alright, and our population capacity is back to where it needs to be. So we're going to slowly start gaining food. But honestly, we really... don't want to take any more slaves? Do I have any other food producing resources here? Wine? No. Salt? I mean, salt gives food capacity up by 400. It also helps my population capacity, but yeah, really it's just these little grain settlements. And I can't just keep pushing slaves to them. So we might have, at least for now, maxed out where we're going to be. I've got a lot of political influence, so I should probably be hitting up the Entice Business Investors button, as well as checking out if any national commerce income I'll take. If I can find any... Ooh, let's do that. Oratory. I wish I'd found that button just a second earlier. Any, like, global food modifiers would be good, too. We are going to be victorious there. Unfortunately, we're going to lose that siege. They have decided that they want to attack us. That's okay. Alright, good. One of these armies that was raised against us has stepped down. I wonder if there's no way that I could, like, peace out the Egyptians, is there? Like, if I were to suggest peace offers... They would want probably too much from me, right? Yeah, it actually doesn't seem like they would allow anything. So, what about Carthage? I'm not going to give in to Carthaginian demands, that's for sure. But I would be interested to know what they want. They want me to liberate Sicily. Puh! No. Release a bunch of my vassals. Yeah, absolutely not. We can fight on. We can fight on until the end of this game. We can fight a huge, epic 40-year war if we have to. I said I'm doing all of this for my tributary states, but you know what? Okay, the greatest threat to any nation comes not from without, but from within. That is true. The constant infighting between those who would name themselves heir can consume countless resources and lives. Our spies at the court are certain that Theodamus, a man who has made no secret of his ambitions for the throne, is plotting to ensure his future by doing away with the competition. We should keep a watchful eye. So, he wants to kill some of the other heirs. He's not exactly very loyal In fact, this could be a good way to arrest him, get him out of my hair. So I'm going to go ahead and spend that gold to see if I can get rid of him. Looks like we have another peace imminent. Although once they start taking my territory, we will probably lose that notification. Looks like the Emporians are still not giving up, which kudos to them. Kudos to all my allies. They are doing well. Ooh, plot discovery. We're going to lose some popularity. He's going to lose a bunch of loyalty, but he already hates me anyway. Kudos to my allies for not giving up. They weren't giving up on me. I'm not going to give up on them. Alright, so Theodamus has been spending increasing quantities of time with our beloved heir. These two are our natural enemies, so it might be wise to be particularly careful with this developing situation. Unfortunately, we were unable to acquire much information on what the two conspirators were discussing. This is troubling. It really is. Perhaps we can convince her not to get involved. I'm going to say that, because I'm a little worried. They might be coming after me. After all, I have gotten them in one of the largest wars in Sicily's history. I mean, they're fighting half the Mediterranean Sea. Let's look at this. We are fighting all the way from the coast of Portugal. Everyone from the coast of Portugal in Hispania all the way to Phoenicia hates us. They are fighting us. We are merely trying to hold our head above water at this point and maintain relevant. We are trying to kick Carthage out of Gaul because we really need and want to expand our influence there to secure Sicily's future beyond year 727 when the game ends, but indeed for eternity. We want Sicily to always be one of the most dominant countries on Earth. And so for that to happen, we need to make sure that the Sicilian League stays strong, because nothing's stronger than a loose confederation of a bunch of ancient nations, right? Probably not right, but, you know, it's fun for the roleplay. We're thankfully going to take that siege pretty quickly, and, there's the plot attack. Theodamus chose to make a preemptive move against Apollonius Pyramid today, apparently overconfident in his own abilities. Thankfully, due to exceptional martial ability, the fight went in favor of the defender. How tragic. You're wounded. We did win this siege. Thank you to our mercenaries who helped us out tremendously there. So we can continue the fight, I'd say. Maybe we should actually continue it. We are actually going to win that fight, and I'm going to pause for a second. Once again, it actually looks like we are going to take full and sole control of the war goal. Ooh, poison, what? That plot's not over? At a recent feast, our loyal subject, Apollonius, was making merry when he fell mysteriously and suddenly ill. We suspect that he might have been poisoned by those seeking to do away with competition for the throne. If we value his life at all, we should seek assistance immediately. Alright, let's look at you. You raised an army against me. You don't like me. You are disloyal. You think that you would do a better job ruling this nation than I. And well, I don't agree. We could give him brain damage, call the physician, we could bring a holy man, we would gain some stability, and he would either die or nothing would happen. Or we could say, how convenient, continue feasting. Oh, I love it! So our general would gain 10 popularity as well as 10 loyalty. Our sister and heir would gain 10 popularity as well as 10 loyalty. I'm okay getting my heir a little bit more popular, I guess. And Apollonius will die. And you know what? I honestly am going to say it serves him right. He raised an army of 22,000 men to come and fight against us. Now, granted, you also raised an army, but you know what? Sometimes the enemy of my enemy is my friend, even if he is my enemy. So I am going to say how convenient, how inconvenient, but also will someone pass me another helping of chicken? Or, in honor of Thanksgiving here in the United States, which is in just a few days, will someone pass me another round of turkey? Unfortunately, we're once again losing food. Oh, it's all these slaves that we're taking, isn't it? Alright, we're about ready to have another trade route. I'm going to go ahead and hit that button again. And let's bring us some grain. Of course, here's the problem. Bringing grain from Sicily at this point would mean... Ooh, I could import some stuff to you, like olives, local slave happiness. Happier slaves are more efficient slaves. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with bringing more and more grain in. But unfortunately, that's going to mean I'm losing food here. I might just have to kind of alternate back and forth for a little while. I have too many people. I'm running out of population room in Sicily. Didn't think that would be a problem. Sicily is kind of a breadbasket. It has all those grain-producing provinces. It looks like I need to find someone else who is willing to trade some vegetables or something else with me. Looks like we are actually going to take a nice victory over the Carthaginian forces. Let's kick them out of the province of Alps Maritime. Maritime? We're going to take more losses than them, but you know what? These are mercenaries. They are going to heal up without using my manpower. Let's go ahead and do that national tax rate. We want to make sure that we're getting a lot of money. We did win. Oh my goodness gracious. We lost 10,000 men, they lost 3,000. Those are not sustainable numbers. We're gonna have to heal these mercenary stacks up. Just let them sit for a little while. With that said, the armies coming to attack us are relentless. Gonna have to bring you in. Nope, never mind. Unfortunately, they are going to stack wipe that mercenary stack, so that mercenary stack is done for now. They're going to go march off to where they belong. In about a year, there will be, or a little over a year, there will be a white peace, whether we want it or not, if the situation stands as is. Or actually, not a white peace. With no contest over the war goal that is fully occupied, Sicily may get the province in an enforced peace. That, I think, is best case scenario for me. So we just need to make sure that we hold the whole province. Which means that for now, I'm going to try to set up a defensive position on this side of the river. Thankfully, the Emporians are also... Looks like they're hiring mercenaries or something. Yep, those are mercenaries. Let's check out around the world. This is a truly world war. Unfortunately... Because of the truly worldwideness of it, it does appear that Epirus is going to fall to the Egyptian and Carthaginian armies. There's nothing that I can really do to help out with that at the moment. It's too important for me to make sure that we can hold this territory for the next, 400 days or so. So I'm going to try to have my armies just hold the ground. It'd be nice if we could take that fortress as well. If I have them hold here, assuming they're coming from Carthaginian territory and not, from somewhere up in the forests of Gaul, they would have to take a river crossing. Definitely fine to see them take some river crossing penalties. The Emporians are using those mercenaries to try to retake their capital city. Tell you what, my allies, they're fighters, man. Those feudataries, they want this. Massalia wants this. Also, if the peace is going to happen automatically, I want to make sure that it happens to the right people. Let's give this land to the Massalians. Guess I can do that while the game is starting to tick. The Massalians do deserve their old home of Massalia back. I would love it if they would actually change that to their capital again. We're no longer importing olives. Rude. I guess it's because we don't have enough trade routes. No, we do. We can just keep importing grain from each other. In the meantime, I'm going to import wood. The population of this province consumes 2,097 food every 12 months. So every year they are going through 2,000 food. That's a lot of food. That is a lot of food. Are there any buildings I can build that will increase the amount of food I get besides, like, because I can't build another building here in these settlements. Anything like here in Sicily? Local slave output, that's fine, I guess. But it has nothing to do with food. This is a granary. Surplus. Okay, so that just increases the amount of food I can store, which that's not anything I'm going to hit anytime soon. And then we just have to keep going with our trade routes plan. We only have to hold our territory for 500 or for like 200 more days. In the meantime, I want to make sure that all this land is given to Massalia. I'm going to try not to allow them to lose it again. Now, do want to keep a close eye on where their armies are. I guess I could hire some more mercenaries, especially because now I'm making so much more money. I'm getting 18 gold per month. That's pretty good, pretty good. I would have killed for that early on in this campaign. So their armies are just going to keep going after the Emporians. It's okay. I'll give them that land for now. The Emporians, though, they don't want to give them that land, and the Massalians are going to go help. Good on them. As I said, they are fighters. So, just under 100 more days. So I need to go ahead and I'm going to pause and give all this territory to Massalia. Not that they'll get it. It's amazing that we could potentially actually enforce the war goal even though we have minus 22 war score. Of course, if this happens, do they also get to just keep whatever territory they had occupied? What happens? What happens? I'm not sure I've ever done a peace imminent, or at least one of these, you know, we may get our war goal automatically enforced in the following wars. Yeah, so it says that we'll just get that province. So As long as we can hold it. Looks like we're going to win this fight. No, they're going to bring in a bunch more soldiers. Ooh. Shoot. Can I hire you real quick? No. Military restructuring. He's initiated a wide-ranging restructuring of the offices under his command. He assures us that this will allow for a more efficient command hierarchy. Curiously, our attaché has noted that officers with strong Republican ideals are not receiving any promotions. Alright, well, we don't live in a republic, so that's fine. Yet it is hard to deny the effectivity of his move. I'm going to go ahead and put my trust in him because, well, we are in a monarchy, not a republic, so... Alright, so they have 67,000 troops. How many more days? Okay, so I don't think they're going to be able to do this. No matter what happens, if we can just hold them... Alright, we have 4 days before the end of this war. Let's just take a quick look around. They control all of Epirus. We control the war goal. We had defended our island. I'm going to go ahead and just lower it down to speed 3. Alright, so... And then, if this is correct, no matter what happens here, we should peace out and take this province. I hope they actually just give it to Massalia. Right. Now? No. Okay, so now we can just enforce the peace. So, it's not actually over, but we're going to sue for peace. Okay. But we can't, actually, because we have negative war score. Alright, well. Okay. So we cannot enforce that peace because we have negative war score. We need at least positive 10. Well, we're not going to get positive 10. I'm just going to let you know that right now. We're going to sue for peace. I definitely just don't want a white peace. They wouldn't take a white peace right now. I could try to snag their capital real quick. Then they would lose 10 support for the war. Also lose some war score, because we would own their capital. Let's try it real fast. We're going to take a loss here, I think. We'll move you in. Let's take this fleet. You know what to do. You know what we're doing. They've already rebuilt Carthage somewhat well. We are going to fight here. They're going to take a major river crossing. And it looks like not all of their troops are going to join. I take that back. Spoke too soon. We do get the huge benefit of having a very good tactic compared to theirs. Of course, they might move in with a stronger army. But again, that river crossing penalties should help us a lot. Still, though, we're getting the brunt of these. They're getting decent dice rolls. Their morale is suffering, but again, their dice rolls are better. Alright, that's a good one. That one's not. With the river crossing penalty, they got a 5, we got a 1. We both got 5s there. Hold the river, boys. Hold the river. They got it to 0. Oh, look, they want some peace. Alright, let's see what they're willing to give me. White peace. I don't think I can win. I really don't. They also seem to realize that the resolve of the Sicilians will not be broken. A white peace is probably better than I deserve at this point. We had some successes in Gaul, but we lost everywhere else. We lost at sea, we lost in Greece. I thought that the Emporians and the Massalians would be able to handle them on Gaul, and maybe even we would be able to attack Carthage itself, but that was just a little too ambitious, especially when the Egyptians were involved. I think I am gonna have to say that this was an epic war. It lasted over 10 years, and in the end it was a stalemate. They were gonna have to take all of Sicily itself if they wanted to win that war. We're gonna accept peace. So no borders changed. Nothing changed. We just got a whole heck of a lot of slaves. Actually, so many slaves that our island can't even support them all. We are losing food in one province, barely gaining food in another. And all of our allies are begging for food as well. They know that, well, they need it. I'm going to go ahead and take these two armies and move them back into Massalian territory. I don't know how I'm gonna look my Massalian allies in the eyes again. They lost a tremendous number of soldiers trying to retake their homeland, the city of Massalia itself. But alas, we did not prevail. I will say, it was a brave war. It was a hard-fought war. We thought we could actually beat them on the seas. That did not turn out true, but I think I might have another strategy on the seas for our next war with Carthage, because you better believe that we're going to war with Carthage again. There's just nothing that would tell me that we are definitely going to go to war with Carthage again, and hopefully relatively soon. We have less than 40 years left in the... Well, actually, no. We have like 50 years left in the campaign. The campaign ends at 727. So we have 29 more years. Alright, so we actually have like around 60 years left, because we have 29 more years until 700 and then 27 years after that. So we have a little bit of time. We're definitely going to rebuild our fleet. We're going to rebuild basically everything. Let's go ahead and load both of these armies into these ships. And we'll move one of you back to Sardinia, so that we just know where you are. And the other will go back to Sicily. We are only trading grain back and forth between ourselves. We have to figure out something to do with our food supplies. Looks like that other army has stood down. They were just upset about how many men were dying in that war with Carthage for what they saw was no real reason. It was, however, a very important thing. We have an oratory advancement. Aggressive expansion change. Well, that doesn't help us because we actually didn't take any aggressive expansion. Yeah. Those are fine, but... Let's go ahead and load you up into these boats and send you back to Syracuse where you belong. And you, I will go ahead and disband. We're going to pay a little bit of gold to disband them, and that's fine. I think that is where I'm going to have to end it for today. I was disappointed that we couldn't come up with a victory against Sicily, but we also did not, or sorry, against Carthage, but we also didn't lose either. So in the end, that war, that decade-long war, was for naught. It was a fun fight. I'm glad we did it, but yeah, it ended up not being necessarily the greatest use of our mercenaries' manpower. We, however, did not use any of our own manpower, although our own manpower is regaining surprisingly low. I noticed this in the last episode. I thought that maybe resetting the game would help, but it says we're supposed to be getting 953 men per month, but if you actually take a look, when, well, 1 month tick just passed, but it says we're supposed to be getting 957 men per month. We currently have 39,542, so you would think if we were getting 955 men per month, we would get over 40,000, but no, we're only getting about 200 men per month. It doesn't say that any of our armies are taking attrition, so I just don't know what to make about that. Sounds like there's a car alarm going off outside. We actually, why can't we do this? Oh, we have an event. We gained the infection trait, and we'll go ahead and disband those mercenaries as well. Make a little bit more money. So let's take a look at what we have to do before we fight Carthage next. We have 33 gold. That means that we need to build about 100 more ships. Now, they are specializing in those medium ships. We have in the past specialized in the heavy ships. I'm actually okay to keep specializing in the heavy ships. I think my plan is to use the heavy ships and then actually just fight and then retreat. Fight and then retreat. Don't lock into that decisive engagement. My hope there is that the heavy ships won't go down, but they will sink or capture several of the Carthaginian ships. And then, sorry, there's a car alarm going off outside. It's a little distracting. But my hope is that the heavy ships will capture some of the Carthaginian ships, or just sink some of the Carthaginian ships. And then I retreat without necessarily losing a ton of my own, because I have a ton of light ships and yada yada yada. Their speed's fine. The maneuverability is good. I don't know, that could be a disastrous plan. Obviously, if it seems like we're going to win the fight, we'll fight it down. But if we can cripple them... If we can cripple them on the sea, then we can definitely beat them on the land. Of course, it would also help if they didn't have Egypt as an ally. Alright, a curious Macedonian man appeared upon our borders today, claiming asylum from his captors in Macedon. He additionally promises us rich land in his home country should we seek to exact vengeance on his behalf. Why not make him welcome? We would gain claims on Sparta. Oh, we'd gain a lot of claims. Or we just gain some popularity. No, you know what? I don't necessarily know when or if we'll ever declare war on Macedon. At this point, I think the Sicilians, we are pretty much just dedicated on taking down Carthage. But you never know what'll happen. Maybe in the next episode, the mood will strike me and I will move on towards Greece. We'll see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and make him welcome. And that is officially where I'm going to call it quits for today. This has been Sicily. The Sicily is Very Tall campaign. I have been The Bold. You are you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. If you're enjoying what you're watching, hit that like button. Hey, hit that subscribe button. It all really does help. And I will see you on the next one.